Instructional design is not about creating courses. It is about solving real business problems, and that process always starts with understanding your learner. If your audience is working professionals, you apply andragogy. For example, if you are training a sales team, they don't care about theory. They care about closing deals. So instead of explaining concepts, you show real client conversations, objections, and responses they can use immediately. Next, you design using learning science. Cognitive load theory means you avoid overload. A bad example is a slide with 10 bullet points. A better example is one idea, one visual, and a short explanation. At the same time, multimedia principles means you use voice plus visuals instead of heavy text. For example, show a demo video with narration instead of paragraphs. To make content easier, you use chunking. Instead of a 30-minute video on GST filing, you break it into login, upload invoice, file return. Each step becomes a 2 to 3 minute module. Before building, you create a storyboard. In real projects, this is often a PowerPoint or Word file, where each slide shows screen text, voiceover, and visuals. This avoids rework later. Then you build using authoring tools like Articulate Storyline 360 or Adobe Captivate. For example, you can create a branching scenario where a sales rep chooses how to respond to a client, and each choice leads to a different outcome. Now you need to deliver the course. That is done through an LMS like Moodle, Talent LMS, or SAP SuccessFactors Learning. Companies use these platforms to assign training, track completion, and monitor performance. To make LMS tracking work, you use standards. SCORM 1.2 is the most commonly used version in companies because it is simple and widely supported. SCORM 2004 adds sequencing but is less used in practice. If you need deeper tracking, you use XAPI, which can track things like salesperson watched product demo video or completed on-the-job task. During the course, you use formative assessment. For example, after teaching objection handling, you give a quick scenario. Client says your price is too high. What will you reply? Immediate feedback helps learning. At the end, you use summative assessment. For example, a final role-play simulation where the learner must complete a full sales conversation correctly. But the real test is learning transfer. Can the salesperson actually handle a real client better after training? If not, the course has failed. To support them, you provide performance support. For example, a one-page PDF with top 10 objection responses, or a quick checklist they can use during calls. Finally, you measure success using the Kirkpatrick model. Not just did they like it, but did sales increase or did errors reduce? That is real instructional design, not content creation, but performance improvement.